When I talk about the violence, I'm talking about it from multiple levels. This ain't no lip service. I'm not trying to get votes. I'm not trying to get campaign dollars. I'm talking to you as a concerned member of the community and a family man. Okay? She might even go back to the CRC this summer. We're debating it right now. We'll see. This is real. What I would like to know from those business owners, because we've asked what we can from the community, and I think the community plays a big role. A big role. And so does law enforcement, but so does the business community. All those little shops up there, okay? You know, you got a lot of little shops up there, right? Richie's, I'm not calling anybody out in particular, but I'm giving you a geographic location, okay? What are they going to do as the business owners in Bond Hill to come together? Okay, it's got to be more than just telling the community not to snitch. And oh, by the way, Mr. Smitherman, I agree with you. When you see a crime, you should report the crime. But that goes for law enforcement as well. Yeah, I said it. And I still got friends on the CPD. And it's the truth. I would say it to their face. There's nothing wrong with this. This is grown men talking to you. This is grown folks' time. You know, if the police wants the community to stop to not adhere to an anti-snitching philosophy mentality, you show us how it's done. You know what I'm saying? Show us how it's done. When one of these officers do something and get out of line, bring it to the light. That's how you build that confidence in the community. All that lip service. I'm going to Pluto. I'm going to Uranus. Is that really a planet? I'm going to Mars. I'm going to Saturn and Jupiter. Great. Let me know when you get back, Gilligan. That means nothing at all. So I would like to see, you know, what those businesses, again, I'm not putting anything on one particular entity or segment. I'm saying it's a collective. We've talked about the police. We've talked about the community, the residents, the homeowners. What about the business owners? What are they going to do other than just get security cameras and I don't know what else they're doing? Is that fair? Am I out of bounds here? You tell me. You tell me. And if you're just waking up, we learned something incredible about Hillary Clinton. She likes hot sauce. Way to go. Well, I do too. I guess I should vote for her. Deanna writes, do Xavier police patrol the surrounding community? ? I don't understand why UC needs to patrol the surrounding community if Xavier doesn't. I mean, to be honest with you, Deanna, I think that's a valid question. But I can understand why they would. Makes perfect sense. If you can maintain, if you can control, and when I say control, I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying if you can have an impact in terms of law enforcement and dealing with the crime before it gets to the doorsteps of the University of Cincinnati, well, boom, you're doing your job. And it's a mixed bag. Okay? It's a mixed bag because if you're a parent and you've got a child that attends the University of Cincinnati, then you want the University of Cincinnati to do everything they can to make sure that your child or children, future graduate, right, future college graduate, future somebody special, is protected. I get it. I get it. If you're a minority, if you're a black person in particular, let's make it all the way real, and you live in Mount Auburn, you live in Coreyville, you live in maybe the northern part of, I hope that's the northern part of over the Rhine. You know, some of the lesser developed parts as you go up Vine Street and those other, go up the hill toward the university, you want to make sure that your children don't become a victim. That somebody, that your child doesn't become the next Sam DuBose. I get it. That's why we should have the conversation. Now, the mayor says he wants the local chapter of the NAACP to have some kind of say-so in it. Okay? Mr. Rob Richardson Sr., again, these are the quotes that are being attributed to him. Okay? I did not hear him say it or see him say it come out of his mouth. This is what's being reported. He's like, wait a minute, don't try to play me, Buster. We ain't trying to get used by the mayor's office. It's been reported that John Cranley, this is all local news. He says, well, okay, well, NAACP doesn't want to be involved. We'll get the Black United Front. What? They're still around? Really? Where? Forgive me of my ignorance, really. Also NAN, National Action Network. That's Bishop Bobby Hilton's outfit. Okay. The Reverend Al Sharpton has a satellite here in the city of Cincinnati. Why can't they all come together? Why can't they all come together? Maybe it should be the original organization, a Black United Front. Many things to discuss. I mean, I'll throw it out there. You tell me what you think. That's right, Roger. Good morning to you, Roger. Tracy writes, Nate, trust me, she had hot sauce in her purse because she knew that she could be called out on it. Unfortunately, they didn't ask her to open her purse. I would have asked her. But she probably had a brand new bottle. She probably had a brand new bottle that's never been opened of hot sauce. But the Clintons are smart. I'm sure they poured some of it out of. Hey, give me some of that hot sauce and smear some on the outside. Yeah, that's a hot sauce bottle. Yeah. That's a hot sauce bottle now. Smear some on the outside. That's funny. It's like when these candidates for whatever office, they show up in their brand new jeans because they want to act like every man. They got their sleeves rolled up. It's a brand new pair of jeans that's never been worn before, right? This is funny. Anthony writes, Nate, she is clearly pandering, but I do believe they are fascinated with black people. Bill moved to Harlem after his presidency, LOL. That's right. Terrence writes, is having hot sauce a black thing? ? If so, many black people I know will have to change their identity. But I agree. The perception of pandering should have been in her preparation. Sometimes I wonder if these candidates prep anymore. I believe they do. And Hillary Clinton is deep in the game. I mean, watch the debates. She can hold her own. And the part of that is because she's qualified. I cannot take that away from her. If qualified means that you've held serious public office, then she's qualified. If qualified for, I don't care what Bernie Sanders is talking about. If qualified means that she has represented the United States and our many interests in diplomatic, tense, public, and private interactions, she's done that. You can't take that away from her at all. Deborah writes, I hope Yvette does run for mayor. Yvette keeps it real. Like I said, her stock is rising. Cruther writes, not Chrissy. He will never get my vote. Deanna writes, doesn't the business where the crime allegedly occurred have cameras? ? Good morning, Corey. Not sure. I do know that it's being reported that local authorities, law enforcement, has reached out to Mr. Smitherman. He says he's honored to in any way, and I get what he's trying to say. It seems like he's throwing on a little bit thick now, but in any way to help bring the killers to justice. And who the hell is driving around shooting women at 10 o'clock in the evening? I believe that was a time frame. If I'm wrong, set me straight. And I know that area of town very well. I traverse that area at least 2 to 3 times a week. The wifey does it every day. Like I told you, Little Buddha was in a summer camp, right down the street in Bond Hill. That's right. We real folks. No joking over here. Damian writes, is being honest pandering? ? Right. It's not. I mean, if she's just being honest, no, it's not pandering. Tracy writes, Nate, did you see that thing caller from Beaver Creek is not going to face any charges because the prosecutor said that he could not find that the caller made those statements was with bad intent? Surprise, surprise, Tracy. Are you surprised by that? That's the real question. Mr. Ronald Ritchie, not going to face any charges because we can't find any ill intent, which is interesting. Because there's no evidence that Mr. Crawford had any bad intention, but he's dead. There's no evidence whatsoever that Mr. Crawford had any bad intentions, and he was killed by police in Beaver Creek. And my response to that would be, your intentions matter. They matter. But sometimes when you make a mistake, you got to pay for it. People make mistakes every single day, honest mistakes that lead to other folks losing their lives, that leads to injury, serious injury, loss of property. And guess what? They spend time in jail, period. Period. It's very, very, very sad. Again, I looked into his father's eyes. Some things you never forget. And I will never forget it. I'm like, in my mind's eye, I'm right back there. It was roughly over 2 years ago. In the studio, face to face. And you could just see the pain in this man. Strong brother, man. Intelligent brother. Who, if my memory serves me, had a relationship with law enforcement. He worked hand in hand with law enforcement. Honest man. Hardworking man. Raising his kids, just doing the right thing. Son ends up dead because Ronald Ritchie basically placed a crank call and whipped the police into a frenzy. I don't know. I'll look into it, Tracy. That's a very, very sad set of circumstances to me. Very, very sad. Very sad. So basically, you can make a crank phone call and then claim, well, this is what I thought I saw. It's what you thought you saw. Something tells me, I wonder if the reason why they don't want to charge Mr. Ronald Ritchie is because it kind of opens up the conversation about the actions of the Beaver Creek Police Department. Right, because you can't examine one without the other. Again, I'll tell you, I believe that Mr. Ronald Ritchie has some serious culpability. But at the end of the day, the officer pulled the trigger. And you can clearly see the video. It's on my Facebook page, my timeline. You might have to go back sometime. It might even serve you faster to just go on Google. Go on YouTube. Google it for yourself. Go on the internet. Whatever your search engine is. It'll come up very, very quickly. You can clearly see that when the Beaver Creek police officers pulled the trigger, Mr. Crawford II was of no threat to anyone. He was of no threat to anyone. Anthony writes, Nate, she is clearly pandering, but I do believe they are fascinating. I think I got that already. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. Is it wrong to ask what the business owners, right, in the Bond Hill area, should they come together? They could have, if they united. Now, I don't know what that means exactly. I'm searching for understanding. Because we know what law enforcement should or should not do. We understand what law enforcement is asking from the community, and I'm asking the same thing. If you see something, report it, period. That's not snitching. If you see something, report it. If you've got some information that might lead to the whereabouts of a suspected killer, again, everyone is innocent until proven guilty, report these idiots. Get them off the streets. Because the next time it could be you. Could be your family caught in the crossfire because two idiots with guns got a problem. They can't work it out. Maybe it's over money. Maybe it's over Facebook. Maybe it's over a girl. It's ridiculous. Oh, put down the guns and pick up a damn book. How about that? Damien writes, I think the prosecutor kind of implied that. I believe it was him or the man's lawyer saying the police didn't even assess the situation. They came in guns blazing. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. But they came in guns blazing because Ronald Ritchie claimed that Mr. Crawford was waving the gun near children. And when you say that, especially to a family man, it turns up the pressure. Everything is more important now. Now you got a real situation on your hands. You know it and I know it. That is deep. That is deep. No snitching mentality. That's ridiculous. It's deep. It's very sad in Ohio that basically you can make a crank call. It leads to the death of someone. And then you're not even held responsible. You're not even held responsible. This man just goes around with his life. I'm telling you, Ronald Ritchie should have been charged. because it will send a message to the next bystander